Welcome back to AI Search Explained by Rank4AI. I'm Adam Parker, and I'm here with Jimmy Connoley. Today, we're diving into something that's fundamentally changing how businesses need to approach content, why your content strategy needs a complete rethink for AI search. And this isn't theoretical anymore, is it, Adam? We're seeing this play out with every business we work with through rank4ai.co.uk. Their existing content just isn't translating to AI recommendations. Exactly. The content that ranks beautifully on page 1 of Google can be completely invisible to ChatGPT or Perplexity. I've been running systematic audits across these AI systems, and the patterns are stark. Traditional SEO-optimized content often fails to get recommended. So what's actually different? Because I'm getting pushback from clients who say, but our blog traffic is still strong from Google. The fundamental difference is interpretation versus matching. Google's still largely matching queries to keywords and topics, but when someone asks ChatGPT, recommend a marketing agency in Manchester, it's interpreting context, assessing credibility, and making a recommendation based on completely different signals.
Right, but let's be practical here. What does that mean for a business owner who spent years building their content strategy around SEO best practices?
It means your 2,000-word ultimate guide to digital marketing might be less valuable than a concise case study showing specific results for a specific client. AI systems are looking for evidence and specificity, not keyword density. That's a hard pill to swallow for businesses who've invested heavily in those comprehensive guides. Are you saying they should scrap everything? Not scrap, but repurpose. Through our audits, I'm seeing that AI systems prefer content that demonstrates expertise through specific examples rather than broad overviews. That ultimate guide could become 5 detailed case studies, each showing how you solved a particular problem. Okay, so we're talking about moving from general to specific. What else are you seeing in terms of content that actually gets picked up by these AI systems? Context is crucial. When I test businesses across Claude, Gemini, and Copilot, the ones that get recommended consistently have content that clearly establishes context, who they serve, what specific problems they solve, and what the outcomes look like.
But how do you measure that? At least with traditional SEO, we could track rankings and traffic. How do you know if your content is working in AI search?
That's the challenge. The metrics are completely different. We're tracking mention frequency across AI systems, recommendation context, and accuracy of the information being shared. It's not about traffic. It's about being recommended in the right context to the right queries. Which brings us back to the practical issue. How does a business actually create content for AI systems? What's the process? Start with your customer conversations, the questions people actually ask you, the specific problems you solve, the exact outcomes you deliver. AI systems respond well to content that mirrors natural conversation patterns. So instead of targeting keywords, we're targeting actual questions and conversations. Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. The format matters too. I'm seeing that structured content performs better across ChatGPT and Perplexity. Clear headings, specific data points, concrete examples rather than abstract concepts. That sounds like a complete content audit for most businesses. How do you prioritize what to tackle first? I always start with what I call recommendation scenarios, the situations where your ideal client would ask an AI system for a recommendation in your category. Then we work backwards to ensure your content directly addresses those scenarios with specific evidence. Can you give me a concrete example? Let's say you're a local accountant in Birmingham.
Perfect example. Instead of accounting services in Birmingham, create content around how we saved a Birmingham restaurant £15,000 in tax with the specific strategies used. When someone asks Copilot or Google's AI overviews about tax-efficient accounting in Birmingham, you've got specific, credible content to reference.
That makes sense, but what about volume? Traditional content strategies often focus on publishing regularly. How does that translate?
Quality over quantity becomes even more critical with AI systems. One well-documented case study that demonstrates clear expertise and results will outperform 10 generic blog posts when it comes to AI recommendations.
So we're talking about fewer, more substantial pieces of content?
In many cases, yes, but also more varied formats. AI systems are pulling from different content types. Some prefer structured data. Others respond well to conversational formats. The businesses we're seeing succeed are diversifying beyond just blog posts.
Whatever formats are working.
FAQ sections are performing incredibly well because they mirror how people naturally query AI systems. Detailed service pages with specific processes and outcomes. Case studies with measurable results. Even podcast transcripts and video descriptions are getting picked up.
Speaking of transcripts, are AI systems actually accessing audio and video content directly?
Not consistently yet, which is why the supporting text becomes crucial. But I'm tracking rapid development here. Claude can now analyze images, and the multimodal capabilities are expanding quickly across all these systems.
So businesses need to be preparing for that shift?
Definitely. The businesses that are thinking ahead are creating rich, accessible content across formats now. When AI systems can directly process video or audio, they'll already have the comprehensive content library ready.
Let's talk about something practical. How do you optimize existing content for AI systems without starting from scratch?
Add specificity and context. Take your existing service pages and add specific client examples, measurable outcomes, and clear processes. Update your About page to include specific expertise areas and demonstrated results, rather than generic company history.
What about technical considerations? Are there structural changes websites need to make?
Schema markup becomes more important because it helps AI systems understand context. But honestly, clear, well-structured content often matters more than technical optimization. AI systems are sophisticated enough to extract meaning from good content, regardless of perfect technical setup.
That's somewhat reassuring for smaller businesses who might not have technical resources.
Exactly. This isn't about having the most technically advanced website. It's about having content that clearly communicates your expertise and results in ways that AI systems can interpret and recommend confidently.
What about competitive analysis? How do you research what's working for competitors in AI search?
I test recommendation queries directly in each AI system. Ask ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude for recommendations in your category and location. See who gets mentioned, how they're described, and what information is being pulled about them. And if competitors are consistently getting recommended over you?
Analyze what content or information the AI systems are referencing about them. Often it's not their main service pages, but case studies, reviews, or specific project descriptions that demonstrate credible expertise.
How often should businesses be testing their presence across these AI systems?
I'd recommend monthly spot checks across the main systems, with more comprehensive audits quarterly. The algorithms and data sources are evolving rapidly, so what works today might need adjustment in 3 months.
That's quite a commitment for business owners who are already stretched thin.
True, but the alternative is becoming invisible in the search behaviors that are increasingly driving customer decisions. We're seeing significant shifts in how people discover and evaluate businesses, especially in B2B contexts.
What's your advice for businesses that are feeling overwhelmed by this shift?
Start small, but start now. Pick your 3 most important service areas and create specific evidence-based content for each. Test how you're appearing across ChatGPT and Perplexity for relevant queries. Build from there rather than trying to overhaul everything immediately. And what about businesses that are skeptical this will really impact them? The data from our audits shows dramatic differences in visibility between businesses that have adapted their content strategy and those that haven't. Early movers are gaining significant advantages in recommendation frequency and context accuracy. So the window for competitive advantage is still open? Definitely, but it's closing. We're moving from early adoption to standard practice. Businesses that wait another year to address this will find themselves playing catch-up rather than leading.
Any final thoughts on content strategy for AI search?
Think like you're having a conversation with a knowledgeable colleague who is asking for a specific recommendation. Your content needs to provide that colleague with enough specific, credible information to confidently recommend you to someone else.
That's a helpful way to frame it, creating content that gives AI systems confidence to recommend you.
Exactly. To summarize today's discussion, move from general to specific, focus on evidence over keywords, diversify content formats, and test your visibility across AI systems regularly. The businesses adapting their content strategy now are positioning themselves for significant advantages as AI search behavior becomes mainstream.
Thanks for listening to AI Search Explained. If you want to understand how your business appears across AI systems, visit rankforai.co.uk for detailed audits and strategic guidance.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into AI search. Until then, start testing how your business appears when people ask AI systems for recommendations in your category.